Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Oh,
All
okay.
right.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
So our second episode.
Yeah, this is cool. Again, let's get right into it. I think we're both dealing with interesting situations in our lives regarding. For me, I have elderly neighbors that we've become friends with over the years, and I think you're dealing with something with your own family, even.
Yeah, family and I have three clients that are kind of all dealing with the same issues, kind of all unfolded all at once. And when you start unfolding it for your clients and especially for yourself, you start to see um, some startling sort of trends and things for the future of our family members and our community as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. I think the issues are encompass like the whole aging population in general. And that comes back to the business and industry that we work in. I think it's a large concept that is not discussed enough and not promoted enough. It is it's stewardship. Our part of our job and duties to our clients and also to our own families and friends, but stewardship is a huge part of the relationship and business that I don't think gets emphasized enough. And it it's really problem solving. It's problem solving, but I think a lot of these problems can be planned for rather than reacted to.
Yeah, but I don't know. So just so the viewers know, we're talking about senior housing
Yes.
and aging parents and friends and family. But like, even if you plan, your options really are kind of shit.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's $5,000 a month for a dorm room, right?
Yeah.
Like, or a lot of the seniors I'm talking to, in my situation particularly, I've had to be really creative because they're fearful about the condo market. So they don't want to sell their house and move into a condo because they just feel like, you know, it's going to evaporate or they won't be able to sell it. Um, they don't want to rent because they've never been renters and they like to own. And there's still like this huge sentiment that all the affluent people that have houses still will pay crazy money for condos, which isn't the truth at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything that's like a retirement home is either crazy expensive for what you get, or even if you get a really nice retirement home, like the community, it's just a whole bunch of people your own age just, I'm sorry, rotting away.
Yeah, I think that brings back that concept that a mixed neighborhood, mixed with not just, you know, mixed with age demographic in the neighborhood too. I think young people need to be around older people, and older people need to be around younger people, and those, I think, lived experiences kind of shared and storytelling shared, and community kind of like just growing together and
Yeah.
learning and understanding each other's challenges and each other's wins and successes too. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I think even with your situation, right? It's not necessarily a family member that you're checking in on.
Right. Yeah. I live in a mid-rise building. I live on the ground floor, and we had just met neighbors when we first moved in. They had been very friendly, and we just became friends. And they had lived in Toronto their whole lives too, so we had really tapped them for the history and how the city has changed and how life and work has changed as well too. So there were two sisters, and they were, in a sense, women in business. They were working accounting and finance jobs, like, I don't know, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, like on typewriters and stuff. So it was really interesting because my wife is an accountant, and they had a lot to, talk about and discuss, and how things have changed. And so over the years, we just became friends. Now to a point where we actually share some resources. We have a second car that we hardly ever use. Their car died, so I was like, well, just put them under our insurance, and then they can use it. And now recently, one of the women, like she hurt herself.
Right.
She got hurt, like I don't know, pulling furniture around or something like that at home, and lost the use of one of her arms, and then she actually like, again, older, like she fell out of her bed or something like that and hurt her other arm. So she's
Yeah.
or a woman is without the use of both of her arms for
Wow.
a few days. And I was like, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I just talked to you a couple of days ago.
Right.
Like she picked us up from the airport.
But
know,
having
like-
neighbors like you is allowing them to not only stay in their own home and get the help they need from not just a paid service that shows up every once in a while, but like somebody that actually is invested and cares for their neighbors. It allows them to like live a better life because they're still talking to you and your wife.
Right.
And you and your wife have stuff going on like that's completely different than the space they're in their
Right.
retirement.
Yeah.
Right? So the conversations are, what's going on with AI? What's
Yeah.
going on with, I don't know, housing, where a lot of retirees are just kind of at the point where if they all get congregated together, it's like anything. I think if you put rich people together, messed up shit happens. If you put poor people together, messed up shit happens. If you put old people together, messed up shit happens. You just have to have a blend of everything, and then it kind of just balances itself out, right?
Right. Yeah, it's this. I think it's that sharing of multiple perspectives at the same time in life. I think it's really important to help people feel grounded, help others think ahead as well. Sharing these perspectives, they may not have thought ahead or thought back to how things may have been before and where things are going.
Yeah.
And help, I think better decisions can come from that as well. So,
And I think even like from that discussion and our life experiences, we've talked about, where the real estate market is, and we have some clients in that space.
yes.
And we're, as much as we can, trying to share this idea of a new structure and business model, right? With the mix use sort of retirees and regular renters or regular purchasers. So you have the diverse economy, but you have some of the services and supports maybe within the building to take care of the senior people. But it's not just a building with seniors in it.
Right. Yeah. I think you need that mix. I think we discussed this, like, this mid-rise block, in a sense, concept that I hope becomes less challenging to execute on. But having a ground floor commercial and retail, so you have your neighborhood businesses and services, and then probably third to fifth floors are probably where the older generation may prefer to live in. They're not too far from the ground and they're not too high up, and then perhaps from 5 to 6, 7, 8, 12, and that you have a different unit mix and a different demographic mix as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that block now all people from all walks of life will kind of like mingle and mesh and have those lived and shared experiences at the same time.
Yeah, and even what I'm seeing, like on the 3 clients that I'm managing right now is they're like saying no to condos, even though 2 of the families, their parents built condos, right? And
Yeah.
have built condos in the past. And they're saying no, like find us a bungalow of 1,000 square feet. We're going to add another 1,000 square feet to it. We want a small lot so we can like garden a little bit, but when it gets, to the point where we can't anymore, we just leave it and it's fine. And we don't have high maintenance bills or anything like that. But it's also saleable. So
Right.
it's in these locations. And here's the kicker that is kind of it's the double-edged sword. So Olivia Chow introduced the new tax on luxury properties above $3 million.
Right. Yeah.
So now all these, like, they're telling me they want to find a place between 1 million and 1.6 million. Dump 500,000 into it and then still be under 3 million if they have to sell it.
Right.
But these are traditionally the starter homes that people in the community would go after.
Right.
So now we have this weird sort of situation where the tax is actually like wealthy people are smart, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't care, like
Yeah. I would agree.
all these condo builders that think they're still going to sell to wealthy people at 2,100, you said 2,500.
Yeah. I don't know. And the narrative is for right sizing, of course, but I don't understand who's right sizing to $6 million, and I don't even know what the maintenance fees might be, but it's it's going to be up there.
Well, regardless,
Yeah.
it's not with the market norms.
Right.
And rich people are not like they didn't win the lottery. They like earned that money. They worked hard. They had to outperform in their careers to get that money. It's not like if you win the lottery, yeah, sure. You like a place, you don't care, but they have a consideration of like the realities of the world. And when honestly, like $900 a square foot is kind of the new norm for a new condo.
Right.
If it's an older condo, it's 850, right? Even though everybody wants to tell you it's 1,000, right? They're not going to pay 2,100 and be like, yeah, I'm cool with,
Right.
They don't have 25 years to wait for that money to come back to
Right.
them.
Yeah. Like, no one's looking at that and saying like this is a good deal for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And condos still do, serve a really good option. It's just you have to be within the market norms.
Right. Yeah, and I think by opening, like I would say, deregulating what it takes to build housing in better locations and within neighborhoods where I think that this particular demographic may want to stay. They want to stay near their friends. They want to stay near their family, or they may want to have some space for their family to visit more often.
Yeah.
Things like that, I think is really important. And the easier you make it to execute on something like that, I think the better that built environment and built product can become.
Yeah.
And I think it will naturally attract investors. It will naturally attract buyers. It will naturally attract a market that doesn't see the options that work for them, for what they want. And I would say that I understand it's very hard for a market to articulate what they want if they don't actually see it, or if they don't understand why it's not as available
Yeah.
to them.
And I think, like, just thinking off the top of my head, like, this is where the missing middle is supposed to support.
It's supposed to support, yes. Yeah.
It's a little bit complicated because, I mean, accessibility in elevators, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and the numbers, you have to kind of make it work. But we've seen some examples of condos that, I mean, at least on the main floor might work for a bit, right? And the I have so I don't know how many parents want to be stuffed in a nanny suite. I think that's a young person sort of
Yeah,
thing.
I don't think I don't think
Like
hardly
mom,
any.
dad, go live in the
Yeah,
backyard.
no way. Yeah.
You know.
I think they're fewer and further in between. I mean, they are out there. That it does exist. I've spoken to some prominent ADU slash garden suite and laneway suite builders, and it's split probably one third, one third, one third. One third is people aging in place. They're moving. They're moving out of the main building. They're redeveloping the main building and moving to the garden suite.
Yeah.
Others are looking to, increase or just increase the space and income from their property. And then there's actually another segment of people who want to. Do you see the ADU or garden suite as a specialized facility for special needs? They may have some family members that require some special needs for their care, for their life, and a garden suite actually provides a much more economical solution than being at a facility or something like that.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of that, like I know that two of my clients asked about it. They both have different ideas of it. It's interesting. One is for the grandkids, because they're like, when the grandkids come over, if they need a place to stay, they always have a place to stay. And then the other one was, I don't know if I'm allowed to say for the help. Is that okay? Am I going to get canceled for saying for the help?
I would say it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
You can assistance sounds better.
Yeah. The therapist, I don't know,
Right. Yeah.
but just so they're not in the same space, but they're still
Nearby. Yeah.
right? So I think that there's a lot of sort of options out there that people aren't exploring with kind of the missing middle structure. And, I'm always trying to hack, and arbitrage, taxes and stuff like that.
Right.
So if you built a family compound past a certain number of units, right, there's no rules that you have to necessarily rent all of them,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But there are certain rebates that you could, if you have grandkids or whatever, and they're fairly mature, let's say like older teenagers, maybe you want them to stay close by and give them an option of, having their own place, but still getting their meals cooked. And what I personally believe is charging them rent,
Right. Yeah.
Teaching them some responsibility, and then if you don't need the money, put it in an account for them to go buy a house later.
Right. Yeah. And this goes back to our previous conversation, the multiplex condo unit. Shout out Ben Singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you have a large family or a multi-generational family, I mean, and you're able to have some capital and attract some outside capital to create this kind of legacy asset or investment vehicle, and you sell them to your family, and depending.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe, or depending on their financial situation and in a sense stature in life, they qualify for, again, a couple of interesting tax breaks and a couple of interesting financing options as well too.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Is like if you have the money, you
Yeah.
make each condo, like you're building the place anyways.
Right.
You make the condo each, let's say 800,000 under the $1 million threshold. The family member gets the benefits of the first-time home buyers tax incentive.
Agreed. Yeah.
So they might get up to $100,000 in their pocket, right? And then they're in a place that you hold the mortgage on. like there's all kinds of like unique structures that I think in this time of extreme taxation and probate fees and all of this other stuff, and we're not accountants.
No.
So you need
Talk
to
to
talk
your
to
accountant.
accountant, lawyer, you know.
Talk to your lawyer.
We'll refer
Talk to
you,
your
Ben,
accountant.
you know.
Yeah.
But you can kind of, you have to game the system in a way, I think.
Right.
You know.
I think it's really just understanding it and bringing to light and understanding what avenues are available to your particular situation. I think every single one is going to be different. Every single multiplex development that happens out there is going to be nuanced and specific.
Yeah.
To each one. So yeah, talk to your realtor advisor, talk to your accountant, talk to your lawyer, all of that stuff. Like it's needed.
And I know we were picking on condos,
Right.
and they're still a great option. If you buy the right
Sure.
building, right price, right amenities, there's still some amazing deals. There's a ton of amazing deals right now.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of, value in those, again, because you're mixing, kind of your aging population with your younger population. It breeds a healthy, engaging community, right?
Right. Yeah. The neighborhood is the king, and I think especially in this time of our market, real estate it's going back to being micro. It's really important that we look at it that way, because ultimately the macro forces that affect everyone, we don't have any control over that. So let's be more, I think, introspective and look at our specific problems that we're trying to solve, or situations that we're trying to make better.
Yeah, even with my own family, like I've realized, I think the first question I ask is, if you didn't have a car, could you live here?
Right.
Like, can you get your groceries? Can you get your pharmacy needs? Can you go and have a coffee, have a conversation with strangers, right? Because, people talk to everybody. At least my father, he likes to chat a lot. So,
Right.
Can he go and engage with people in the community, or is he isolated?
Right.
Right? That's the big question. And I think that's the first thing when looking at our family members and aging population, that we need to have them close to all of these amenities.
Yeah, that would be part of and integrated into the neighborhood. The neighborhood is the amenity.
Yeah, and it can't be like a sprawl neighborhood.
No.
It has to be like a neighborhood with restaurants and, stuff to do. It can't be just a nail salon and a Gino's Pizza and, whatever else is in the strip plaza.
Shoppers.
Yeah.
Rexall.
Although Shoppers is pretty good. Usually where there's a Shoppers, there's a good community.
Right.
I think that's a good sign. It's kind of like Starbucks.
Right.
If you see a Starbucks, you're like, the neighborhood's Jane and Finch.
It's coming up.
Has Starbucks.
Yeah.